Please be advised that we have translation on this meeting. I will let them share the information now. Translation if you wish to.
Thank you, everybody. We will now announce instructions in Spanish. A continuación, vamos a anunciar instrucciones para conectarnos a la línea de interpretación en español. Para conectarnos a la línea de interpretación en español, vamos a marcar al número 347-966-4114 e ingrese el PIN de conferencia 450-254-485, símbolo numeral. Una vez más, para unirse a la línea de interpretación en español, va a marcar al número 347-966-4114 e ingrese el PIN de conferencia 450-254-485, símbolo numeral. Les recordamos a todos los participantes mantenerse en silencio desde su teléfono celular, así como también de esta conferencia virtual. Gracias. Thank you. You may continue.
Thank you. Please be advised that only people unable to unmute themselves or those who are co-hosts. If you have a question or something you need to, please raise your hand. Please be advised that people are allowed to take sub pictures. That's not something that the council do approve of, nor do the DOE. At this time, I'm going to ask the secretary, Ms. Mortimer, to proceed with a roll call for this evening. Thank you.
Okay, I'm starting the roll call at 6:07 p.m. Miss Amy Ming-Tsai.
Evening, present.
Mr. Craig Spencer.
Present, good evening.
Mr. Shamel Lawrence.
Present.
Ms. Christy Angel.
Present.
Ms. Christy Montavon, present. Mr. Angel Morales. Ms. Joanne Jones. Ms. Aisha Husbands. Ms. Celia Green. Ms. Patricia Jewett.
I know Patricia's going to come in later.
Ms. Constance Asiadu. Is anybody, is any of the other members in here? Because we only have 5 members present. We don't have quorum.
Okay, so we are not in quorum, so this is not an official meeting at this time. They are not here. I checked the roster too. Mr. Spencer, if you want to send out text,
Yeah,
reminding
now.
people, please do. All right, so we could proceed on as the members come in, but please be advised we will not be voting, and we are not at quorum at this time. So we could proceed. If you want to start sharing that resolution, Christy.
Yes, one moment. I was on with Councilmember Morales. He's going to try to join us now. Let me pull up the document.
Let the record show that Vice President Ms. Green have joined us and also Angel Morales. So we are in quorum at this time. There's 7 members here.
Okay, so I will start reading now. Oh,
Ms.
no?
Martimar, did you get that? Did you hear me?
Yes, I have 7 members present and we have quorum.
Okay, thanks. Go ahead.
Okay, so this resolution is still in need of edits. So I'll take note of that and we can also take comment. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into reading it. This is the notice of public hearing resolution to adopt written procedures for the use of video conferencing for the conduct of hybrid public meetings. Whereas effective April 8th, 2022, as part of the 2022-23 state budget, New York State has enacted permanent amendments to the open meetings law for governing bodies' use of video conferencing to conduct public meetings designed to ensure public and media direct in-person access to government officials with the goal to balance both interests by enhancing the ability for governing bodies to operate remotely while simultaneously protecting the public's right to in-person access. And whereas the council members of the Citywide Council for District 75 wish to consider the adoption of a resolution providing the written procedures for the use of video conferencing to conduct this public meeting consistent with amended New York State open meetings law. And now, therefore, be it resolved, the council members shall hold a public hearing on, that should be July 11th, to consider the proposed resolution to adopt written procedures for the use of video conferencing for the conduct of public meetings. Such resolution to read as follows. The Citywide Council for District 75 hereby adopt the following as written procedures to be utilized for video conferencing for the conduct of its public meetings in accordance with the open meetings law of New York as set forth in the amended Public Officers Law, Article 7. The Citywide Council for District 75 shall, in their discretion, use video conferencing to conduct public meetings as follows. Definitions: hybrid meeting, a meeting as defined above to which there is a mix of physically present and virtually present members participating. Meeting, a gathering of members of the Citywide Council for District 75 for the transaction of official business for which a quorum of its members must be present. Physical presence, when the minimum number for a quorum of members are physically present to conduct the meeting. Quorum, a majority of the members of the board. Virtual presence, when a member or members participate in a public meeting virtually using video conferencing. 2, requirements where video conferencing is utilized to conduct public meetings of the Citywide Council for District 75. A, quorum must be physically present. At least a quorum of the body must be physically present at all hybrid meetings. For this 11-person board, there must be a minimum of 6 members of the council physically present. Virtually present, a member of the council may attend virtually via video conferencing only under extraordinary circumstances such as disability, illness, caregiving responsibilities, other unexpected factor precluding attendance. Video conferencing, where video conferencing is being utilized to conduct a public meeting of the council. A, the council shall provide an opportunity for the public to view the meeting and participate both in person and via video conferencing in real time. B, the council shall ensure its members can be heard, seen, and identified during the meeting, especially when any matter is being formally discussed and or voted upon. C, the meeting minutes shall identify the names of the members who participated remotely and the names of the members who participated physically in person. D, public notice. The public notice of the meeting shall inform the public where to view and participate in the meeting virtually, where to participate and attend physically, and where records will be made available. E, the council shall maintain their official website at CCD75.org, and recordings of each public meeting shall be posted to the website within 5 business days following the meeting and shall be available on the website for a minimum of 5 years following the meeting. F, transcriptions of a public meeting shall be made available only upon request. G, all video conferencing shall use technology consistent with the 1990 Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA. D, virtual meetings, this has been edited, it's I believe July 14th now, where virtual meetings without physical presence shall be held only during a state emergency declaration by a state, county, or local municipal governing authority, only where the disaster circumstances would affect the ability to meet safely in person. So this is why we are making this resolution now, so that our council can stay within the legal requirements to be able to have video conferencing and hybrid meetings. And that is the end of that document. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Spencer, would you like to ask if there are any questions or?
I got it. I'm chair. I'm going chair. So thank you for sharing that document, Ms. Angel. You could put it down for now, so I can see if any hands go up. Thank you. I I see one hand, so let's start off with Councilmember Green. Go ahead, Vice President.
Thank you, Co-President Lawrence. I only have one, I agree with it. There's just one place where it says board that it might need to say council, and that's it. Like everything else is fine. We do need to adopt something, and thank you to Council Member Angel for doing all the groundwork and getting this together. That's all I wanted to say.
More than welcome. I've taken the note to make the edit.
Thank you.
And the other thing I would ask that you add, Ms. Angel, is where it says reasonable excuse for a council member to be on remote. I would add that you add work, because we do have some council members that do work the night shift. So never know if they get stuck at work or something. So I would ask to put that in there too, work.
Okay.
Are there any other questions or debation? Okay, I see Mr. Spencer.
Thanks. I was just and speaking of work, that's where I'm at. Is there some stipulation regarding attendance? Like if a council person can't meet in person and attends hybridly, is that we're still considering that an actual, that they're not, they'll still be officially in attendance, right? They just won't.
As long as there's 6 people physically in person.
Right.
Yes. But we just would have to have quorum in person.
Right. Yeah. With that being said, I mean, yeah. Okay. So yeah, well, I guess what I'm trying to get to is if a council person can't get to the meeting in person, and they attend virtually when we have 6 people, that they'll be officially, be in official attendance of the meeting. I guess that's what that was the wording that I was looking to officially see, but I'm
That's
on
my
the same page, so to
understanding,
speak.
but I can go back and double check on one item that was given to us during the open meetings law
Okay.
meeting.
All right, let me come off mute and let me soak it in, and if there's anything else, I'll raise my hand. Thanks.
Okay, then we can move on to one additional document. There's a question in the chat. What would happen if there's not 6 people in person? Then the meeting wouldn't have quorum and it would not be an official meeting.
Yeah, similar to what just almost happened today.
Yeah, I think that we need to put some kind of my suggestion to make sure that we always have quorum. I would say that we need to write it in a way where we say that the executive board, which include the president, vice president, or co-president, the treasurer, and the secretary, they need to say that we need to be in person. Those officers need to be in person. Therefore, we know that we have at least 4, and there's 2 more. I would say we need to put something on that, at least for the officers of the council. That's just my opinion. I see 2 hands, so I saw Amy first, and then I see Ms. Green. Go ahead, Amy.
I just want to say thank you, Christy, for drafting this resolution. And it's definitely very understandable with the definitions. I would just want to add, and just to define on the header, in parentheses, hybrid, next to public
Yes.
meetings.
I said it, but I forgot. I didn't get to make the edits. That's what I said earlier, but I did definitely state that it would be hybrid in the actual topic.
Thank you.
No, you're more than welcome. More than welcome.
Next, I recognize Councilmember Vice President, Ms. Green. Amy, I'm going to pick your hand down. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Co-President Lawrence. I was just gonna say that, to what you said, I don't think it should just be the executive board, because then you hold them to a different standard altogether than the rest of the council, and the council in general is a commitment, period. Like for everybody, it's a commitment. So in all fairness, sometimes because of geography, sometimes because of different things, you're probably gonna get 6 different people at times. So I don't really think it's fair to put it all on one set and not on the others. So I think there has to be, I get what you're getting at, and I
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
in fairness though, it would not seem really fair to
Mhm.
the people who are doing a lot of the heavy lifting,
Mhm.
because they do a lot of the heavy lifting, to absolutely make it mandatory that they be in person.
Got
So,
you.
but and not just that, I think that the hybrid is more about how we have the meeting. So even if all of our members are in person and then the audience itself is virtual, it's fine. But I don't think that any one person should always be virtual,
Got you.
you know, because
before-
then, you know, people will have that in their mind and do that all the time. I think it should be, because like you said, if you have an emergency, if your babysitter ducks out, if something else happens, I understand that. I've been there, so I know, I understand that, but not for one set to always be virtual and the other set to always have to be there. That's
you.
not fair. Plus, some
Well-
people have younger kids than others, and sometimes it's harder for them, you know.
Yeah.
It would not,
Well-
it definitely wouldn't be fair.
Well taken. All right. Thank you, Ms. Green. Let the record show at 19 hours, Ms. Baltimore, that Councilmember Ms. Jones had joined. Next hand I recognize is Ms. Councilmember Ing.
Yes, so I wanted to circle back to what Mr. Lawrence was questioning. And from what I do have, it does say, as we did speak about extraordinary circumstances such as disability, illness, caregiving responsibilities, significant or unexpected factors, or events which precludes the member's physical attendance at the meeting. The expectation is that the council's members will meet in person. Members' remote participation is allowed only under certain circumstances and only if quorum is met in person.
Okay, got you. Okay, so are there any other questions or debation on this area? Please raise your hand and I will call upon you. If I don't see no hand, we will move on to the next item to be discussed. Going once.
Before we move on, so we're gonna have to present this on the 11th for public comment, right? Is that, if I remember from our meeting on the
Yes.
15th? Do we want to announce that since this is recorded and?
Yes, we will be having a public hearing on July 11th at 6:30 p.m. and we will try to get that notice and the flyers out as soon as possible.
And please tell them where they could view the document at on our website, how they could access it.
Currently, the link is in the chat. And if you go to our website at CCD75.org, it is under our file share location in the June folder for the documents. It's the first item that you will see.
Thank you, Ms.
So-
Councilwoman.
So we're not gonna have public comment on this now, it'll be on the 11th. I think that's how I understood it.
Yes, it's
I
a
don't
hearing.
think yeah, I mean, at the same time, yes, it is for the public hearing, but I don't think it would be such a negative if people did have feedback today. We can take that all and then do the hearing at the same time. One moment.
Okay.
So, once again, if there's no other, what she said, okay. If there's no other debate or questions or comments regarding to this resolution that we have shared, we will proceed to move on to the next item. Miss Angel. Thank you.
More than welcome. Can I ask Councilmember Ming Tsai to help me out here with some of the reading on the document? Do you mind?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, well, this
Sure.
is the procedures for member video conferencing pursuant to Public Officers Law, Section 103A. This is a section that is up for consideration for amendment into our bylaws. There are typos that I do need to edit, so please don't charge that to my heart. All right, Amy, take it away.
Sure. Procedures for member video conferencing pursuant to the Public Officers Law 103-A. In compliance of Public Officers Law, PO 103-A 2A, the Citywide Council for District 75, following a public hearing authorized by resolution on insert date, the use of video conferencing as described in PO 103-A. The following procedures are hereby established to satisfy the requirement of PO 103-A 2B, that any public body which is the discretion wishes to permit its members to participate in meetings by video conferencing from private locations under extraordinary circumstances must establish written procedures governing member and public attendance. 1, the Citywide Council for District 75 members shall be physically present at any meeting of the Citywide Council for District 75 unless such member is unable to be physically present at one of the designated public meeting locations due to extraordinary circumstances. 2, for purposes of these procedures, the term extraordinary circumstances, including disability, illness, caregiving responsibilities, or any other significant or unexpected factor or event which precludes the member's physical attendance at such meeting. 3, if a member is unable to be physically present at one of the designated public meeting locations and wishes to participate by video conferencing from a private location due to extraordinary circumstances, the member must notify the co-presidents no later than 4 business days prior to the scheduled meeting in order for proper notice to the public to be given. If extraordinary circumstances present themselves on any urgent basis within 4 days of the meeting, the Citywide Council for District 75 shall update its notice as soon as practicable to include that the information, if it is not practicable by the Citywide Council for District 75, update to its notice. The Citywide Council for District 75 may reschedule its meeting. 4, if there is a quorum of members participating at a physical locations open to the public, the Citywide Council for District 75 may properly convene a meeting. A member who is participating from a remote location that is not open to in-person physical attendance by the public shall not count toward a quorum of the Citywide Council for District 75, but may participate and vote if there is a quorum of members at a physical locations open to the public. 5, except in the case of executive sessions conducted pursuant to PO 105, the public body shall ensure that its members can be heard, seen, and identified while the meeting is being conducted, including but not limited to any motions, proposals, resolutions, and any other matter formally discussed or voted upon. This shall include the use of first and last name, place cards physically placed in front of the members or for members participating by the video conferencing from private locations due to extraordinary circumstances. Such members must ensure that their full first and last name appears on the video conferencing screen. 6, the minutes of the meetings involving video conferencing based on extraordinary circumstances pursuant to PO 103-A shall include which, if any, members participated by video conferencing from a private location due to such extraordinary circumstances. Page 2, 7. The public notice for the meeting shall inform the public, that extraordinary circumstances, video conferencing will or may be used, Roman number 2, where the public can view and or participate in the such meeting. Roman number 3, where required documents and records will be posted or available. And Roman number 4, the physical locations for the meeting where the public can attend. 8, the citywide council for District 75 shall provide that each open portion of the meeting conducted using extraordinary circumstances video conferencing shall be recorded, and such recordings posted or linked on the citywide council for District 75 website within 5 business days following the meeting, and shall remain so available for a minimum of 5 years thereafter. Such recordings shall be transcribed upon request. 9, if members of the citywide council for District 75 are authorized to participate by video conferencing from a private location due to extraordinary circumstances, the public body shall provide opportunity for members of the public to view such meetings by video and to participate in proceedings by video conferencing in real time where public comment or participation is authorized. The citywide council for District 75 shall ensure that where extraordinary circumstances video conferencing is used, it authorizes the same public participation or testimony as in-person participation or testimony. 10, choose 1. Open meetings of the state public body of authority conducted using extraordinary circumstances video conferencing pursuant to the provisions of Poll 103-A shall be broadcast pursuant to the requirements of Poll 103-F and shall utilize technology to permit access by members of the public with disabilities consistent with the 1990 Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, as amended and corresponding guidelines. For the purposes of the guidelines, quotations, disability shall have the meaning defined in Executive Law 292. Choice 2, open meetings of the all other public bodies conducted using extraordinary circumstances, video conferencing pursuant to the provisions of Poll 103-A shall utilize technology to permit access by members of the public with disabilities consistent with the 1990 Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, as amended and corresponding guidelines. For the purposes of the guideline, this quotations, disability shall have the meaning defined in Executive Law 292. 11, the in-person participation requirements of Poll 103-A 2C shall not apply during a state's disaster emergency declared by the governor pursuant to Executive Law 28, or a local state of the emergency proclaimed by the chief executive of a county, city, village, or town pursuant to 224 of the Executive Law. If the public body determined that the circumstances necessitating the emergency declaration would affect or impair the ability of the citywide council for District 75 to hold an in-person meeting. 12, these procedures shall be conspicuously posted on the citywide council for District 75 website. Is that it?
Yes, that is it. Thank you.
Can you please, can you take it down for a minute?
Sure.
So you heard the resolution and the proposal coming from the team. Are there any questions or debates at this time? Please raise your hand, council members. Mr. Spencer, you go ahead.
This is these, let me just go back here. So these procedures, I think, Christy, you had mentioned it in the beginning. So this is going to be added to the bylaws. This is going to be can you walk me through that again?
Yes, so basically we have to have a resolution and have the public hearing, 2 calendar meetings, and we also have to amend our bylaws to include what we're doing with the hybrid meetings. So having the definitions, having how the public is supposed to, the procedures, these were all taken from the email that Paola had sent over originally and from the state's website.
Right, so this is going to be, these procedures are going to be in our bylaws, and what you read was the resolution.
If our council decides to vote on it, then this can also, so we have time before the 13th meeting, so this can go back to the bylaws. We can also add electronic rules from Robert Rules so that we have something to formally go by as well. Oh wait, council member Si's hand is up. I do want to make sure.
I recognize it. Go ahead,
Go
finish your statement.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, but yeah, basically we just need to make sure that we amend our bylaws that show we have passed the resolution, that we do have things in place that acknowledge how we are moving forward with video conferencing for hybrid meetings.
Okay, yeah, that's where I think I want to iron out in my head.
Okay.
And
Thank
yeah,
you.
this is a great
Welcome.
complimentary document to what was read previously. So, all right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Councilmember Amy.
So to my understanding, the resolution is basically to ensure that under the law, that we continue to be able to have video conferencing during our meetings, which is open meetings law. And to make sure that when we are conducting hybrid meetings, that there is a presence of meeting quorum and we're able to vote during quorum. The procedures of the video conferencing for the meetings would be the amendments to the bylaws as to what the communication will look like, to ensure that the public is aware of, like, how that video conferencing occurred, like how many days in prior in advance, and also the attendance of members of the council. I would just add 2 things. One is the option of the choice that we have to put down. Choice 2, which it would go directly for us as a body of the Citywide Council for District 75, pursuant to the communication and access to the technology. And then lastly, where number 12, this communication would be posted to the website. I would just also add, since we are using social media and YouTube, to have available there too. That's it. Thank you.
I can't see if any hand, Miss Angel. Okay. Are there any other questions or any other debates at this time? I want to pause real quick, Mr. Spencer. Hold. Let me check the Spanish line. Are there any questions in the Spanish line?
It seems we have no questions on the Spanish line.
Thank you. Mr. Spencer, you had a question. You may proceed.
No, I'm just saying I didn't see any hands.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any other questions or debates on this subject at this time, council members? Okay. Seeing none, hearing none, we will move on. Is there anything else, Ms. Angel, that we need to cover? The next item?
Yes, there's just one more document that I wanted to share with the council. Let me try to pull that up.
As she pulled that up, I just want to recognize the awesome work that the Citywide Council have pulled off with 2 awesome events, one being this last weekend. For those who came out, it was a great day. Thank you, Miss Angel Outreach and Amy and all those who have done hard work, pin these events together. It was greatly appreciated, and I heard nothing but positive feedback for that. So I just wanted to take a moment to shout them out and said thank you to our outreach. And that's not the end of our events. We will be having more. We're looking forward to more. So thank you, guys. You may go ahead.
Thank you so much. The last document that I'm going to share is public access to meetings of the Citywide Council for District 75. Section 1 says public purpose and scope. The people's right to witness and observe the governmental decision-making process and action is basic to our society. Access to public portions of meetings of public bodies must be protected and maintained. We adopt these guidelines in order to provide direction concerning the procedures by which public meetings of this body may be photographed, recorded, and broadcast. Section 2, recording and broadcasting public portions of meetings. The public portion of any meeting of a public body may be photographed, recorded, and broadcast. A public body may adopt reasonable rules governing the location of equipment and personnel used to photograph, record, and broadcast the public portion of a meeting in order to ensure that such equipment does not detract from or interfere with the deliberative process. There is no privacy interest in statements made during public portions of meetings of public bodies. Distaste or embarrassment shall not constitute a basis for prohibiting or limiting the photographing, recording, or broadcasting of these present at a meeting. Section 3, rules for recording and broadcasting public portions of meetings. Operation of equipment to photograph, record, or broadcast a meeting is permitted unless it is obtrusive, disruptive, or interferes with the deliberative process or the right of a person's in attendance to observe or listen to the proceedings. Use of equipment necessary to photograph, record, or broadcast is permitted without notice to or express permission from the public body or those in attendance at the meeting. Use of equipment necessary to photograph, record, or broadcast is permitted in a supervised or unsupervised manner. Use of special lighting or large equipment necessary to photograph, record, or broadcast a meeting is permitted unless it is obtrusive or disruptive. Personnel who operate equipment necessary to photograph, record, and or broadcast a meeting shall be permitted to move about the room as long as such movement does not disrupt or interfere with the deliberative process. Use of equipment necessary to photograph, record, and or broadcast a meeting shall not be limited to a location from which such equipment is not reasonably capable of photographing, recording, and or broadcasting. Persons operating equipment necessary to photograph, record, and or broadcast shall be given a reasonable opportunity to modify their actions in order to avoid interference with the deliberative process. Section 4, public notice. These rules governing the operation of equipment necessary to photograph, record, or broadcast a meeting shall be posted in a designated location. Written copies of such rules shall be provided upon request free of charge to those in attendance or to those who seek to attend the meeting. Section 5, severability. If any provision of these guidelines or the application thereof to any person or circumstances is adjudged invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, we might not need this part, but such judgment shall not affect or impair the validity of other provisions of these regulations or the application thereof to other persons and circumstances. This document too was pulled from the state website.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Lawrence, I get it back to you.
Yeah. All right. I can't see. I see your stream saying you're sharing still. Okay, there you go. Thank you. So on this subject, are there any questions or comments? Please raise your hand and I will recognize you. I see Mr. Spencer. Go ahead.
I just put my thumbs up. I'm good.
Okay. All right. So I see no hand going once, twice, going 3 times. Okay.
Actually, I got a question. So
It's too late
we,
now. You got to hold it. It's too late.
no,
I'm
what I was,
I'm strict to what I mean, what I say. So when I come back, I recognize you.
okay.
All
go
right.
ahead.
So moving right along. Are there any other document, Miss Angel?
No, those were the final documents. We would be using the one resolution for the meeting on July 11th. And the other two documents would be what the council would be looking at and working on edits to vote on at our hopefully July 13th meeting.
Thank you. Mr. Spencer, 1 minute. Go ahead.
So, yeah, thank you, Christy, for the hard work. So how are we going to, first off, there's 3 members not here. Are we going to take that offline in terms of getting their feedback, or that's number 1? Number 2, in terms of the format of the hearing on the 11th, is that something that we want to walk through here, or we're going to walk through offline? Those are the 2 questions that I have.
I would say that we could walk through it offline. There is a format. I don't know if Faisal provided with us, but I definitely saw it. I'm just not sure where, so I don't want to speak incorrectly with that. But there is a format that I do think we probably should go ahead and stick with. I can't speak to it right now since I do not have it in front of me, but it is something I think that we could manage to work with offline to see, you know, who's doing what or which steps in the
But
presentation.
I saw Tamika here from Face. I don't know if she wants to come off from mute and comment to that.
That's if Face is providing it. I don't know if they are, so I don't want to speak incorrectly.
Yeah, let's not put nobody on the spot. Yeah,
All right.
we could have this conversation offline.
Okay.
For that,
Right.
unless Tamika want to speak to it,
Right.
she could raise her hand and I unmute her if you want to. Okay.
I do want to say most importantly, this was us picking up the what we postponed from our last meeting. So we just needed to make sure that we got this portion out in part of the quote unquote calendar meeting. So reading the resolution so that the public would know what it is and that we will be having a public hearing about it on the 11th satisfies this meeting, in addition to reading over the amendments so that the council knows this is what we'll be working on, and Council Member Asiadu is taking the lead there with the Bylaws Committee.
All right, thank you. I recognize Ms. Montalban at 18:47 hours. Ms. Patricia Jewett have joined us. Please make a note of that. Thank you. I recognize our Vice President Haynes, Ms. Green.
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm still on the move. I wanted to say that the July 11th and July 13th can actually, if we wish, be completely virtual, only because the extension of the suspension of open meetings law doesn't end until the 14th of July. So anything before that is already covered, and we can do that virtually, and virtually is when we get the most attendance anyway, like meaning audience participation, and as well as member attendance, because it's a little easier to do. Even if something happens, you can usually still attend virtually. So if those 2 meetings, not talking about any other meeting, but those 2 meetings can be covered under the suspension of open meetings law and be virtual.
Yeah, all right. I think we have.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think we have it scheduled as a hybrid meeting already. It's at the district and gonna be virtual for those who wish to come to the district.
I'm sorry, are we speaking about the July 11th meeting?
Mhm.
Okay, I don't recall that part of it, but I guess we should figure out.
Yeah,
what-
I think it's hybrid. It's hybrid because some of us need to be I know I'll be at the district because I need to patrol certain things for there. So I know some members like to join. If they want to, they could in the public. It's always wrong. Okay, so Ms. Green, I'm gonna lower your hand so I won't be confused unless that's hanging up.
Thank you. No, the
Okay.
hand's not up again. Thank you.
All right. So just some quick update before we proceed on. First I want to say congratulations to welcome back our superintendent, Ketler Lasan. I'm gonna give him a space to speak for a quick 3 minutes. I see him on here, so Ketler Lasan, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know, I can't. Let me see if my camera is working. 'cause
You
I
on,
think
we see you. Yep. see you.
Okay. Good evening. How are you all?
Evening, Superintendent.
Good
We can
evening.
hear you.
You muted yourself and you turned your camera off.
Okay. I just want to, and thank you, Mr. Lawrence, for sharing this space with me. I have to say that I am really grateful for the support of the council, each and every one of you. I know that as you know, I have been afforded another opportunity to remain superintendent of District 75. This is not something really that I am taking lightly. I know it's not a mandate to maintain the status quo, but it's a mandate to improve the district for each and every one of our students. This work, as I always said, cannot be done by one person, 10 people or 2 people. It has to be every one of us working together. I am grateful to each and every one of you, and for the support you have provided before, that you are providing now, and your support in the future. We have a lot of plans for the future. We will not be doing anything without involving the council and you parents and families from the inception of those plans. If one thing was made clear to each superintendent during this process, it's that family engagement or family empowerment is crucial to the success of the work we are doing. This is something that has been made, as I stated before, abundantly clear, that we need to move in lockstep with our parents, with our families, and that's something we absolutely intend to do. We will be sharing more news and updates with you, but I just wanted to use this space, as Mr. Lawrence allowed it to me, that just to say thank you to each and every one of you. We hope with your support, we will continue to enhance learning outcomes for each and every one of our students. I also want to say thank you to our District 75 team that is here. The work also doesn't happen without each and every one of them. They really are people that are dedicated, committed to not only educating children, but to providing them with wraparound support. I have never experienced that you will like someone or a team member here to provide assistance and they will not do so. So we are all involved, we are all dedicated and committed people, and we are so happy to partner and to collaborate with you to ensure that the work and the district continues to move forward. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Thank you for the support, and let's continue to do great things together. Thank you.
Thank you. And once again, welcome back. Looking forward to
Thank you.
working.
Appreciate it.
All right. Also, just want to wish, she's not here, but we want to wish Sasha a happy birthday. Wish her all the best and many, many more. Happy birthday, Sasha, even though you're not here. Are there any questions from any council members or anything, any council? Oh, let the record show that Council Member Constant had joined us at 1850 hours. So Ms. Multiball, please reflect that. Her and Ms. Jewett, they are all here. So only one we missing is Ms. Hudson. Thank you. Are there any questions besides Mr. Spencer? I save him for last. Anybody else want to go? Okay, so the floor is Mr. Spencer. Go ahead.
Thanks, Mr. Lawrence. So just for the record, yes, we voted on the 15th of June for both July 11th and July 13th meeting to be virtual. But that doesn't counter that Mr. Lawrence and I are usually in at the headquarters in person, so you're welcome to join or whatever, but I just want to state that for the record, what we voted on unanimously on the 15th of June. Also, part of the reason for this special meeting was to wrap up any loose ends on the agenda from the 15th, and the only thing that we had was just borough liaison reports and co-president's report and district and president's council updates. I don't know if that's something that we want to, we want to elaborate on, but I just want to state that for the record, because that's another reason for this meeting. There was two reasons, just to wrap that up. So I just want to present that for the record. Thank you, Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you. Mr. Spencer, are you on your phone or are you on the computer?
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Look at your text message real quick and just give me a thumbs up to what I sent you.
Okay.
Are there any other council member that wish to share any comment? Okay, I see two hands. So first hand I saw was Vice President Ms. Green, followed by Council Member, our Treasurer, Ms. Angel. Go ahead, Ms. Green.
Hi, there's only one question I have, because with, PAs, PTAs and all that went virtual because of COVID these last couple of years. But one of the things that we cannot do is have elections hybrid. We can have them virtually and we can have them in person. But for reasons of, I guess, continuity, the 13th would either mean that all of us have to be in person and the audience would be hybrid, you know what I mean, virtual, or we would all have to be virtual in order to. I'm only talking about for the annual meeting. I'm not talking about for everything else.
Once again, I will be in the office, so I will be virtual, but I will be in the office. We'll be at that location. And I think if anybody came to the district, they would still be virtual. So at the end of the day, everybody would still be virtual. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we have a solidified how that happens, because it minimizes confusion.
Yeah,
that's all. Okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for raising it. Mr. Spencer, did you see my text before I go to Miss Angel?
Yeah, I just responded.
Okay. All right. Miss Angel, go ahead.
Yes, two things. I wanted to say that we noted on the actual special meeting that we were just going over the amendments and the resolution, and technically you have to stick with the topic that is on the special resolution, on the special meeting notice. And two, technically, I'm not sure of a rule in Roberts that says we all have to be in a specific place, etc., because we don't have the electronic rules set up for Roberts yet. So I don't know how we would guide our virtual stuff as of that yet, or the in-person, not in-person thing.
Okay, thank you. All right. All right, is there anybody else who have any question? Look at your text again, Mr. Spencer.
Okay.
Are there any other council member that wish to share any information here? Okay. In the Spanish room, are there any questions or comments coming from the translation, please, at this time?
It seems we have no questions on the Spanish line.
Okay. Anything in the chat? Let me check. Okay, no comments in the chat. Right. Give me 1 minute, council members. Please forgive me. Okay, so welcome back. So before we adjourn this meeting, we just want to share some information about our AA with the membership and the public. Ramona will be retiring this year. We will be losing our AA this year in July, as of July the 19th. She will no longer be with us. She will be retiring. The process and all that stuff will be shared with the membership shortly, but we just want to make sure that we put it out there that she have submitted to myself and Mr. Spencer her retirement stuff, and her last day will be July the 19th. All right, are there any questions about that before I ask for a motion to adjourn? Go ahead, Ms. Angel.
The council get information how we move forward regarding our budget, the P card, et cetera, since that is normally attached to an AA?
We have protocol. We will share that information. We will work behind the scene with FACE and the district office to share that information. But some of us here, we have done the work, Ms. Green, or even myself with this council, and I'm pretty sure others when they were put out of AA. So now it falls on the president or the co-president to make sure certain things, but there will be a clear guideline shared on that.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Ms. Green.
Just for transparency, there already is a clear guideline only because we are not the only council that will be without an AA. For the last 2 years, there's been a shift, and as many as 8 councils had to hire AAs, 3 of which, although they hired, had to begin the process again. So there is a clear process. I myself was on CCHS when they did not have an AA. So we went through that hiring process and it took a while, but there is a clear-cut process. It's the same for all the councils, whether they be CECs or citywides. So I'm sure that we'll be more than capable of doing what we need to do in the meantime.
Thank you, Ms. Green.
Mhm.
Are there any other questions or debates about anything you heard here tonight, members? Please raise your hand. Going once. All right, Mr. Spencer. 1 minute.
Right, council members, I believe right after our meeting on the 15th, I emailed everyone in terms of AA roles and responsibilities. So that's even more prudent now. So just review that, and then we'll work behind the scenes to see if we can come together with an understanding of that, since we're all on the same boat, just trying to find someone new, and we could move forward all on the same page. So appreciate you collaborating with all you on that. If anybody didn't get it, let me know and I'll email again.
Yes,
Or
and
maybe
Constant,
I'll just re-email.
yeah, send it out. I think so. Constant, I saw you trying to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted someone to update me on what occurred in the meeting because I had an emergency I had to take care of. So just getting
No problem. Can somebody call you and update you?
Sure, that'll be fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Spencer, me and you are caller. Reach out to.
Right. Hey, Constance, can you see the chat or are you on the phone? Because
I don't see anything on the chat.
You can't see everything in the chat. You can only see one comment.
Yeah.
The chat only happens when we join.
I'm gonna email you what Christie shared, and then Mr. Lawrence and I will talk offline for you, so that.
Okay. Not a problem. Thank you.
Ms. Jewett, I see you, and I'll update you.
And I'll email you too, Patricia. I'll email you, I'll email everybody that's not, and Aisha too, since she's not here.
Thank you.
Also, members, please, let's get your member reimbursement. And we don't, our AA is out sick. I have a connection in place for it to be processed. Let's try to get it in between today and tomorrow, because after tomorrow, I will not be in the office until after the holiday. And I want to make sure that everybody get their stuff. So please send your member reimbursement and like today, for those who haven't. Ms. Angel.
I'm just piggybacking you. June 30th is the last day possible. Otherwise, it will come out of our budget for next year. We don't have to do that.
Yes, yes. So please, if you need to send it, certain people see me, please send it. I don't, man, I will be happy to approve it and make sure it get processed as soon as possible. With that being said, are there any final questions, any debates? Seeing none, may I ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting at 19:09 hours? Okay, Ms. Green, is that a motion?
I motion that we adjourn this meeting of CCD 75 until July 11th, 2022.
Can I get a second, Amy?
I second.
Questions, debate? With that being said, I'm gonna relieve translation at the time of 19:10 hours. Please note that in our record, Ms. Montalban. Thank you, translation. This meeting is now adjourned at 19:10 hours. Thank you. Have a good night. Be safe, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Christie. Thanks for your
Good
work.
night.
Good night.